Hey guys, welcome back. Today on the Untidy Artist, I'll be showing you how I made the April Birthstone Flower Fairy. This is part of my Birthstone Flower Fairy series that started in July. I will list the other flower fairies I've already done in the series below in the description. If you enjoy this, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed, please do. That would be amazing. I'm really excited to show you how I put this gorgeous doll together, so let's grab some supplies and get started. So the flower I'll be using for this fairy is a lily. I wanted something that looked really sleek. I wanted her dress to be really simple. I wanted all of the focus on this doll to be the sparkly diamonds, so I thought this flower would work really well. I'll be using an off-white, a black thread, and then a black metallic thread. I'm once again keeping the color palette really simple, and then I also added a cream kind of satiny thread. I have my sparkly diamond Swarovski crystals and a little bead end to put in her hair that's got some diamonds on it. I have been basing this entire series around the Swarovski crystal Birthstone set. I'll put a link for that below. And then I have this little bead cap. It's got 3 little diamonds on it. I bought these years ago. This is my last one that has diamonds. I do have some pink ones left. If any of you guys know where to find these, let me know. Okay, and then I've got a toothpick and some E6000 glue. We'll be using this to put our crystals on. I have a sharp pair of scissors and of course my trusty glue gun set on low. And then obviously we'll need a fairy doll. You can learn how to make a fairy doll in my basic fairy tutorial where I show you how to take a wooden bead, a piece of floral wire, and some embroidery floss for the skin and hair and turn it into this beautiful little doll. I recently came out with a tutorial on different skin tones. I will link that below. And then you can see I've already styled her hair. I've given her a high ponytail. I have a lot of different hairstyles on my channel. I'll put some links for different hairstyles below. You can obviously style her hair however you'd like. Okay, the first step is to take our white thread and we're going to wrap it right up to underneath her arms. So I gave her a little pair of shorts and I just wrapped it right underneath her arms. And then I'm going to take the black and I'm going to wrap it just around the top and give her some straps. So I put a small dab of glue right in the back. And then I'm going to take that black, line it right up on the back, wrap it around a few times, and I like to flip her to the front and make sure that the thread is laying evenly. So I take it around about 3 times, and then I wrap it around one side to give her one sleeve, take it around about 2 or 3 more times, and then I give her another sleeve. And then you just finish it off by adding another dab of glue in the back and cutting off the end. I love the contrast of the black and white together. And I just thought this turned out really pretty. So we will end up adding a little diamond right at the top of her dress there. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to set her aside and we're going to grab our flowers. Now this is where things get a little bit different because normally I'm taking a whole flower apart, but obviously these flowers each only have 1 layer. We're going to end up using 2 of them. And what I did is I went through and I picked out the 2 nicest ones, and now I'm going to kind of trim them up. So you can see it's got a little bit of brown by where the glue was holding the center of it together. So I'm just going to take my little scissors and I'm just going to trim that off and kind of clean up the top. I have used a few of these different flowers just in practicing for this doll, and I did find that some have more of the brown glue than others. So if you get one that's a little bit hard to clean up, you can always go back and add glitter around her waist to kind of disguise some of that. Then I'm going to grab my scissors and I'm going to cut a few different slits into the center so we can slide it up and around her waist. So normally we fold it in half and cut an X, but instead, because we don't want to cut into the sides of the petals, we're just going to cut small slits around it. And then I took some glue and I put it around the bottom layer and I slid the top layer over it, and then we're going to slide it up and around her waist. And it kind of works best if you kind of pinch it as you're sliding it up to get that up around her waist nicely. And then I just pinched it and pulled back some of those little slits we had cut, and I added some glue there. It's impossible to get the glue gun all the way up her dress the other way, so it's easier to put little dabs of glue from the top and then just pinch it to hold it in place. And look at how gorgeous this dress is. It's super simple. but I just think it's so elegant and beautiful. Now we're going to give her some black shoes. So I'm using my black metallic thread, and then I'm going to use this really pretty satin and give her some gloves. You will find a tutorial on my channel for gloves and shoes. I will link that below. In that tutorial, I go into a lot of detail on how to create gloves and shoes for your fairy doll. Okay, so obviously we've got our hair already styled. I am going to take the black thread and I'm going to wrap some of it just around the top of her ponytail. Remember, you can style her hair however you'd like. Another hairstyle I think would be really cute with this doll would be high space buns. That's one of my favorite hairdos I've ever done. Okay, and then I went and I just trimmed off the ends of her ponytail, kind of cleaned that up. And now we're gonna take this bead cap, and you can see how sparkly and pretty it is. And I'm just using, I put some of my glue onto a little piece of paper. I'm taking my toothpick, I'm putting a dab onto the black that we just wrapped around the top of her ponytail, and then I use the toothpick to just kind of push that in place. I do like using the E6000 better for this part because it doesn't show as much. Now we're going to add the other crystal. So I take a small dab of my glue and I'm going to put it right at the top of her dress, right in the center. And I think the diamond against the black is going to be so pretty. And then I just put that in place, and you can use the side of the toothpick that doesn't have the glue on it to kind of push down your crystal and move it around if you need to. And I think that just looks so gorgeous. And then we're going to add the rest of the crystals around each of the petals on the top layer of her dress. So I just take a small dab of the glue, I put it right on her dress, and then I'm going to grab that crystal and push it into place with the other side of the toothpick. And I did that all the way around the bottom of her dress. And I just think this added such a pretty sparkly element to her dress. My goal with this really was to focus on the diamonds. I wanted the diamonds to be the centerpiece of this doll. I didn't want to add any glitter because I didn't want it to take away from the diamonds. My inspiration really was Audrey Hepburn in this. I have a big poster of Breakfast at Tiffany's on my wall, and I looked at it the entire time I was making this doll. I think she just turned out so gorgeous. I would love to know in the comments below which your favorite fairy of this series has been. If you decide to make a fairy and want to share it, you can do that with the hashtag UntidyyArtistFairyDoll. I love hearing from you. I love seeing your beautiful creations. If you haven't subscribed, please do. It helps me out so much. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for your support, for all of your kind comments, and we'll see you next time.